A family in Columbus, Ohio installed a new high-efficiency furnace in January 2022. The old unit had died on a Thursday night when the temperature outside was 11 degrees. By Friday mornings, the house was 48 degrees and dropping. Their HVAC contractor arrived that afternoon with a proposal for a 96% AFUE condensing furnace installed for $6,800. He told them this unit would last 20 to 25 years and that the energy savings alone would pay back the investment within 5. He pointed to the efficiency rating on the spec sheet and said they would see the difference on their very first gas bill. They signed the contract that evening while wearing coats inside their own home. 3 winters later, a carbon monoxide detector on the second floor went off at 2 in the morning. The father moved his wife and 2 children to a neighbor's house and called the fire department. A technician arrived the next day and found a crack in the heat exchanger, which is the single metal barrier that separates combustion gases from the air circulating through your home. When those gases escape through a crack, carbon monoxide enters your ductwork and fills your living space. The family had been breathing low levels of it for weeks, possibly months. The headaches they attributed to seasonal allergies were likely early symptoms. They filed a warranty claim. The manufacturer denied it. The stated reason was failure to provide documentation of annual professional maintenance as required by the warranty terms. The contractor who installed the unit had never mentioned this requirement. The family was quoted $4,200 for a replacement heat exchanger on a furnace that was 36 months old, or $7,500 for a complete new installation. The 3-year-old furnace was effectively worthless, and it had nearly killed them. This is the lie. Not the specific promise one contractor made on a cold Friday afternoon, but the fundamental premise that underlies every residential furnace transaction in this country. The HVAC industry sells furnaces as durable home infrastructure, as permanent installations that will reliably keep your family safe for decades. They build marketing campaigns around efficiency ratings and warranty terms that suggest longevity. They train contractors to speak in terms of investment and payback periods. And they know, at every level of the supply chain, that modern furnaces contain heat exchangers engineered to a price point rather than a lifespan. Everyone involved in this transaction understands what is being sold and what it will actually deliver. Everyone except the person paying for it. Most furnaces are not purchased the way you buy a car or a television. You do not spend weeks comparing models, reading reviews, and visiting showrooms. You buy a furnace because the one you have stopped working and your house is getting cold. This is the HVAC industry's single greatest structural advantage. The purchase decision happens under duress, usually in the worst weather of the year, when your primary concern is not value or longevity, but getting heat back into your home before the pipes freeze. Contractors understand this dynamic intimately. They have built their entire sales process around it. The emergency service call that diagnoses your old furnace is dead is not a diagnosis. It is the opening move in a sales presentation you did not know you were attending. The contractor sits at your kitchen table and presents 3 options. The first is a basic 80% efficiency unit at the lowest price. He describes it in language that subtly signals risk. It will get the job done, he says, or this is our entry-level system. The second is a mid-range 96% efficiency condensing furnace at a higher price point. He speaks about this one differently. This is what I put in my own house, he might say, or this is our most popular unit. The third option is a premium system with variable speed blowers and smart thermostat integration at a price that makes the mid-range look reasonable by comparison. You are always going to choose the middle option. The other 2 exist to make that choice feel like a rational compromise rather than an emotional reaction to a stressful situation. This is textbook price anchoring, and it works because you are sitting in a cold house making a decision you did not plan to make. The conversation then shifts to efficiency. The contractor will spend 10 minutes explaining AFUE ratings, annual fuel utilization efficiency, the percentage of fuel converted to usable heat. He will calculate your projected gas savings down to the dollar. What he will not discuss is the metallurgy of the heat exchanger inside the unit he is recommending. He will not mention its gauge thickness, its expected cycle life, or the corrosive effect of the acidic condensate that 96% efficiency technology produces. He is selling you a number on a yellow sticker, while the component that determines whether this furnace lasts 8 years or 20 sits inside the cabinet where you will never see it. Many HVAC companies have stopped calling their salespeople technicians or estimators. The new title is Comfort Advisor or Home Energy Consultant. You are not buying a combustion appliance. You are investing in your family's comfort. To understand why modern furnaces fail, you need to understand what changed inside them. The furnace your parents had was probably an 80% efficiency unit with a simple heat exchanger made from heavy gauge aluminized steel. It worked by burning gas, pushing hot air through metal tubes and venting the leftover gases up a chimney. Those gases left the furnace hot and dry. The heat exchanger never touched moisture. It just sat there, heating up and cooling down year after year. Many of those units lasted 30 years or more because there was nothing inside them trying to destroy them. Modern high-efficiency condensing furnaces work differently. To reach 90% efficiency or higher, they extract so much heat from the combustion gases that those gases cool down and turn into liquid. This liquid is called condensate, and it is not water. It is acidic, typically with a pH between 3 and 4, which is roughly the same acidity as orange juice or vinegar. This condensate flows through and around a secondary heat exchanger every time the furnace runs. The very technology that earns that high efficiency rating on the yellow sticker is also the technology that eats the heat exchanger from the inside out. Your parents' furnace did not have this problem because it was not efficient enough to create it. The metal itself has changed too. Heat exchangers built in the 1980s and 1990s used thicker steel that could handle decades of stress. Manufacturers today use thinner metal to reduce production costs. The difference between a heat exchanger that lasts 25 years and one that lasts 10 can come down to fractions of a millimeter in material thickness. No contractor will mention this during a sales call. No spec sheet lists it. No homeowner would ever think to ask about it. Every time your furnace turns on and shuts off, the heat exchanger heats up and cools down. This is called thermal cycling. In a cold climate, a furnace might cycle 8 to 12 times per hour during the worst months, adding up to tens of thousands of cycles each winter. Thinner metal bends and flexes more with each cycle. Over time, small cracks form at the weld points and bends where the stress is greatest. These are the exact spots where combustion gases escape into your ductwork. Manufacturers test their heat exchangers and know the expected cycle life of every model they sell. They do not publish this data. They publish efficiency ratings instead. The warranty is the most effective part of the illusion because it makes you feel protected at the exact moment you are most vulnerable. When the contractor presents your options, the warranty is always part of the pitch. He will tell you this unit comes with a 20-year heat exchanger warranty or even a lifetime limited warranty. Those words sound like a promise. They are not. They are the beginning of a legal framework designed to give the manufacturer an exit when the component fails. The first trap is registration. Most manufacturers require you to register your furnace within 60 to 90 days of installation to receive the full warranty coverage. If you do not register, the warranty period drops automatically, sometimes from 20 years to 5. The contractor may or may not mention this. The registration form may be a slip of paper buried inside the owner's manual that you put in a drawer and never opened. If you miss the window, the manufacturer owes you nothing beyond the reduced term, and they have no obligation to remind you the deadline exists. The second trap is documentation. The full warranty requires proof of annual professional maintenance performed by a licensed HVAC technician. This is not a suggestion, it is a condition. You must have the furnace inspected every year, and you must keep the receipts or service records to prove it. A single missed year can void the warranty entirely. The cost of this annual maintenance runs between $150 and $400 depending on your market. Over a 20-year warranty period, you may spend $3,000 to $8,000 just to keep the warranty valid on a furnace that costs $6,000 to install. This ongoing cost was never part of the sales conversation. The third trap is the installation exclusion. Nearly every heat exchanger warranty excludes failures caused by improper installation. The manufacturer does not install your furnace. The contractor does. When the heat exchanger cracks and you file a claim, the manufacturer sends an inspector who looks for any deviation from their installation specifications. If the gas pressure is half a pound off, if the ductwork is slightly undersized, if the condensate drain has an insufficient slope, the claim is denied and the cause is attributed to installation error. You now have two parties pointing at each other. The manufacturer blames the contractor. The contractor blames the manufacturer. You are standing between them with a cracked heat exchanger, a denied warranty claim, and a house that is not safe to heat. The warranty was never protection. It was a document built to give you confidence on the day you signed and give the manufacturer a defense on the day you called. The people who profit from this system are not difficult to identify. What is difficult to accept is that every single one of them benefits when your furnace fails sooner rather than later. The manufacturer sells furnaces to contractors, not to you. The contractor is the customer. This means manufacturers compete on price, margin, and dealer incentives rather than on durability. A manufacturer who builds a heat exchanger that lasts 25 years is a manufacturer whose product delays the next sale by a decade. A manufacturer who builds a heat exchanger that lasts 10 to 12 years generates a replacement sale inside the average homeownership cycle. When you understand this, you understand why heat exchangers got thinner. There is no financial incentive to build a furnace that outlasts your mortgage. The contractor profits from every stage of the cycle. He profits from the initial installation. He profits from the annual maintenance contract that keeps your warranty valid. He profits from the service calls when something goes wrong. And he profits most of all from the eventual replacement, which is another full installation at current prices. A furnace that runs for 30 years without trouble is a customer who calls once and never again. A furnace that fails at year 9 or 10 is a customer who calls for diagnosis, pays for the service visit, hears that the repair cost approaches the price of a new unit, and signs another contract. The most valuable customer in the HVAC business is the one whose equipment fails just past the warranty window. When a technician tells you that a cracked heat exchanger at year 9 is pretty normal for this model, he is not giving you a neutral assessment. He is normalizing a design failure. He is framing a product that lasted less than half its marketed lifespan as having simply reached end of life. This language prevents you from recognizing that you were sold something that was never going to last as long as you were told it would. When the service advisor says we see this all the time, what he means is the manufacturer built this to a price point and we profit from fixing their cost-cutting decisions. But by treating premature failure as routine, the service network shields the manufacturer from accountability. There's a deeper problem. A cracked heat exchanger is invisible. You cannot see it, touch it, or hear it. You are entirely dependent on the technician's word. Some companies use this opacity as leverage, diagnosing cracks that do not exist to sell replacements that are not needed. The homeowner has no way to verify the claim. The component is hidden inside a cabinet in a dark corner of the basement, and the person telling you it is broken is the same person who profits from replacing it. Buyers fall for this because the furnace is the one major appliance in your home that you never think about until it stops working. It sits in the basement or a utility closet out of sight and out of mind, doing its job in silence. You do not comparison shop for furnaces on a Saturday afternoon. You do not read reviews for fun. You do not follow furnace brands the way you might follow car manufacturers or phone makers. This invisibility is the industry's greatest asset because it means that when the moment of purchase arrives, You arrive with zero preparation. You are cold, you are stressed, and you are relying entirely on the expertise of the person standing in your kitchen. You trust your contractor the way you trust a doctor. He has credentials, he has tools, and he speaks with authority about systems you do not understand. This trust is usually misplaced. The contractor is a salesperson with a wrench. His recommendation is shaped by distributor relationships, margin targets, rebate programs, and inventory levels. It is not shaped by an independent engineering analysis of which heat exchanger will survive the longest in your specific climate with your specific usage patterns. He is recommending the unit that makes the most business sense for him, and he has no obligation to tell you that. After the purchase, the same cognitive dissonance that protects the RV industry protects the HVAC industry. A homeowner who spent $8,000 on a furnace does not want to believe it was a bad decision. When problems surface, the instinct is to blame yourself. You should have changed the filter more often. You should have signed up for the maintenance plan. You should have registered the warranty on time. This self-blame is exactly what the industry depends on. Dissatisfied customers who fault themselves do not write complaints, do not organize, and do not demand accountability from manufacturers. The solution is not to go without heat. It is to enter the transaction with open eyes. Get 3 quotes minimum and ask each contractor specifically what brand and model of heat exchanger is inside the unit they are recommending. Ask about the gauge thickness of the metal. Demand the full warranty document before you sign anything, not a summary, the actual terms. Register the product the same week it is installed. Budget for annual professional maintenance because skipping it voids everything. Put a carbon monoxide detector on every level of your home and test them twice a year. And understand that the person selling you this equipment is not your advocate. The machine that keeps your family warm was built to a price point, not a safety standard. The people who sold it to you know exactly how long it will last. They also know you will call them when it fails, and they are counting on it.